Hi guys. So just one more thing I wanted to point out. In the brief here it says to render an ambient occlusion pass and a wireframe pass as well as your beauty passes. So I just wanted to give you an example of what that looks like as a final render. Now you'll see here it says 600 frames. Now that was a mistake that I made. It should actually be a 400 frame video, so it should be 100 frames of the skull spinning, 100 frames of the light spinning around the skull or whatever your object is, 100 frames of ambient occlusion, and 100 frames of wireframe. So it's 400 frames in total. You've got your beauty pass, you've got your object spinning, you've got the light spinning around your object, you've got your ambient occlusion spinning, and you've got your wireframe spinning. So I'm just going to show you quickly how to set up that ambient occlusion and wireframe. So obviously for that you don't need your fluids or your particles or anything like that. You just need your objects. So, sorry, I'm just going to hide this one. I'm going to hide my fluid. So this is what I'm rendering for my ambient occlusion pass. So in order to do that, I'm going to make a new render layer here. And I worked out tonight that if your render layers aren't showing up here, it's because you're using 2017. So in order to do that, you have to go to Settings and Preferences. You want to go to Rendering. And here, I don't have it, but you'll have an option where you can choose a legacy render layer editor. Now I'm working in 2016, so that's not here, but you need to set your render layer editor to legacy, and then you need to restart Maya, and then your render layers will show up down here. So I've just made this new layer, there's nothing in it. I'm going to add my plane and my skull. I'm going to right click and choose Add Selected Objects. Now I don't need any lights in this pass because I'm doing an ambient occlusion pass for this. It doesn't actually require any lights. I'm going to name that Occlusion. Now these here you can turn on and off. If it's on, that means it's going to get rendered in the batch render. If it's off, that means it won't. So to add your occlusion, you can go to RenderMan, Advanced RenderMan Controls. And the way to set it up is here under Sampling, and it's this, the integrator. So in order to do your occlusion pass, you'd set it to occlusion, and then when you test that, you should get something like this. A nice, clean ambient occlusion pass. And for the wireframe, you do almost exactly the same thing, but you go to Globals and you choose Visualizer, and then you'll get this wireframe. So I'm just going to make one more video that's going to run through the process of setting off each pass one by one, but that's how you do those.